Right now, you are living in a very special time on the planet. And it is no accident that you just happen to be alive and that you just happen to be watching a channel like this to learn about the tools and what you're going to need to thrive in this particular time period and the task that our generation has before us, right? There's all of these people that are lost in this place of what's my purpose? Why am I here? Those are natural questions, right? When you start to wake up and you start to take the floors up your elevator, right? We've talked about that in the channel. You are this building, okay? And that is your physical structure. That's the things that don't change, right? Where you grew up, the influences that you had, the things that you learned, the experiences you had during childhood, the trauma that you might have accumulated, right? That's unique to you. But yet your awareness will keep going up and down this building. And you're either going to be in the small self frame, which is little me, I have no power, right? Thinking you're the voice in your head, thinking, and it makes sense because that's what we've known for most of our experience. So when you start to leave this first floor, it's a little bit unsettling, and a lot of people are finding themselves in that place right now, right? And also, this is survival. This is the comfort zone. This is the ways that you've known yourself to be. But for many of us, right, that's not working anymore. But there's a lot of fear and there's a lot of doubt and there's a lot of resistance to leave this and start to make our way up the elevator, up the floors, right, to the higher octaves. I want you to know that right now you are living at the very beginning of the Aquarian age. This is where the light comes through. We're literally, as a human race, coming out of collective darkness where we were in separation. We were disconnected from each other. We were disconnected from life, from the planet. And now we're starting to, think about this, literally the rays of the sun, photons carrying information that are going through particular constellations, which are then affecting our DNA. We are always getting hit by these cosmic codes from the rays of the sun. It's not even this weird out there spiritual thing. It's very scientific, right? We are beings of light. We are mostly made of photons, and waves of information are what photons are. And that's us, right? But because our belief systems are so rigid and dense, it really keeps us rooted in the identity and addicted to matter in the physical world, right? But this is one of the things, as you go up the elevator, you'll start to notice that goes away. Okay, so the big message here is we are leaving the era of survivalism. We are leaving the era of the ego awareness where we're just the small self, right? And we're existing in this linear framework where, we're taking this, like, it's got to be step by step in a certain way. It's very black and white, right? You're in time. Everything's based in time. It's going to take me this long, and how am I going to do this? And I'm running out of time, and I'm always stressed by time, just like freaking Captain Hook in the Peter Pan movie, right? That was what he was symbolizing. The adult who is trapped in time and being eaten by time, which is the alligator with the clock in its mouth, okay? When you start to take the elevator up, you are starting to leave that behind. Time becomes less of a thing, and you're just in the present moment, right? You're not looking at, think about this. We were kids in a school that we hated to be in for like 7 to 8 hours a day. I remember just staring at the clock and it would barely move. And I'm like, just please get me out of here, right? And then every day in your formidable years doing that, we become really attached to time. And if you look out in the world, most people are, right? They're just rushing around. They're trying to get somewhere. They're constantly in a state of stress over time, right? This is part of survivalism, and this is all what's leaving. And in fact, it's already left And it is the task of our generation, right, to purge this consciousness and to raise up the elevators. I made a masterclass on all things survivalism, talking about this era, talking about the tools that you need to thrive, right? And that's going to be in the link below. I'm telling you, watch that. That was such a labor of love and packed with value. And I promise you, by the end of that, you're going to see things very differently. You're going to look at the world very differently and yourself very differently. You're going to think about things that you've never thought about before. And it's going to ignite this whole new sense of possibility within you. So make sure you watch that. This video is going to be a little bit different, right? So getting back to what I was saying, it's the end of survivalism. It's the Aquarian age. But if you're living in the old way and you're doing things in the old way, it's going to be very painful. You're going to spin your tires. You're going to beat yourself up because you're like, why is nothing working? It's because you're doing things in the old way. That's all that it is, right? And then what we'll do is we'll make it so personal because down here, everything is about me, right? Small self, me and my problems. What am I going to do, right? And you're just looping in that. And that's not the way of the Aquarian age. The Aquarian age is all about recognizing your oneness with everything. It's about leaving time and being in the present moment. And most importantly, it's about being the creator of your experience, being in the creative energy instead of the reactive energy, right? Because when you're in this frame, you're always reacting. You're reacting to things going on in life. You're reacting to other people. It's just a constant game of stimulus and reaction within yourself. But when you're in the creative energy and you have space and you're in that place of what would I like to choose to experience? Oh, maybe it's time that I start to master my attention. Because it's not law of attraction, it's law of attention. And tons of manifestation videos don't mention this. They stay with the law of attraction. To me, that's the old way, right? Where your attention goes is everything that's happening in your experience, because that is the sunlight in the garden that is your subconscious, which everything in life is coming from, right? So the Aquarian era is about tending to your garden. I'm going to give you a quick example of what this looks like, of the new way of operating within these energies so that you can thrive. So the other day, I was washing a friend's car, a rental car that I was going to return for him. And while I was doing that, I locked the keys while the car was running, while I was washing the car. Now, when that first happened, panic set in. My ego, what happened here, right? I went from here, I'm like in the moment, like, woo, washing the car, having a good time. Boom, I'm down in the basement. I'm down in problem, reaction, solution consciousness. And I feel that panic. And guess what? When you're in the basement, you have thoughts that are all coming from the basement, right? Fear. Oh my God, what am I going to do? And I literally started echoing. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? How do I fix this? What am I going to do? But because I've been a meditator for a while and I've been intentionally creating space, I was just noticing. I was noticing my body in constriction. I was noticing the thoughts of what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then I just started to breathe slow. And I didn't try to push that away. I just noticed it all. Okay. And it was like, okay, what's the next move here? Instantly came to me. All right, let's go to the police station. It was about 2 miles away. Started going for a nice jog. And I changed my physiological state out of the, oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I don't know how to handle this. This has never happened before. So I'm jogging. And as I'm jogging, I'm saying over and over, This is being handled in the most effortless way. This is being sorted out and solved in the best way. This is all being resolved perfectly, easily. All of this is being resolved in the best way, in the fastest way. And I'm just repeating that as I'm jogging, and I start to feel my body relax. I start to feel like, oh, I'm literally entering and have entered the reality where I'm in the solution, where this gets handled no problem at all, right? But that other part of my brain was freaking out. It's like, how much money am I gonna have to pay? Like, are we not gonna return the car in time? Because I had like an hour to get this car back before it would have been charged an extra day. But as I'm jogging, I kept my attention on that reality that I wanted to experience, which was, this is getting solved very easily and very quickly, right? And this is the way. This is where we're going, right? We're leaving this because up here, as you go up the floors and your perception gets more clear and you can see things as they are, and you're in that place of, I am the creator of my experience, then the solution is what you're putting your attention on. It's right there. It's available. It's right next to you. And you tune into it. And I didn't need to know how it was going to get resolved. I just said, this is getting resolved perfectly and quickly. And I don't need to put a speck of energy towards something outside of that. So I get to the police station. It's closed, or because it was 9 o'clock at night, or there was nobody in there. But so I went around the building, and there was a fire station, and a group of those guys were sitting in there hanging out. I went in there. They were super nice. I was sweating my ass off because I had been, jogging for a couple miles, which I sprinted a little bit of that. And they let me use their phone. I got on the phone with my car insurance people, and within 40 minutes, a guy showed up and got me back in the car. And I returned the car perfectly on time. Everything resolved itself. I only had to pay like $50 to get it open. I thought it was going to be like a couple hundred. So I tell you that story because your first impetus when things out here happen is to drop down here and panic and be in the problem, reaction, solution, stressing about time, right? That's the old way. That's how the old you has known to operate for so long. Okay, so this is, and by the way, when I say new, it's not even new. It's within you, and it's always been there. And now there's space for it to come up because the survival era is ending, right? So you want to apply this to any challenge that you have going on in your life. If you're launching a business, if you're a service-oriented entrepreneur, a creative, you're bringing your vision to life, you're ready to get yourself out there, you're ready to step into this thing fully, right? But if you're still operating from down here, it's going to be very hard to do that because you're not playing correctly with the energies that are present. It's like no wonder things aren't working out when you're doing it in the old way that's not relevant anymore. Guys, literally, it's like, and I've said this in other videos, the stage play of the Piscean era, which is 2,600 years that we've been existing in, has cleared out. And we have a whole new set of rules, a whole new set of characters, a whole new set of stories and energies that are calling us to the higher floors of awareness, that are bringing us to that place of oneness. It's like all the teachings of Yeshua, of Jesus, we weren't really ready for that at the time, but somebody had to bring it in, right? Somebody had to lay down the tracks and bring in the codes so that it could start to permeate and make its way into the collective unconscious mind that we all share. And now we're in the era where the seeds that Yeshua planted are actually starting to sprout, and they can actually be seen, and they're starting to emerge in, hundreds of thousands of people all over the planet, right? And we're seeing a lot of evidence for that right now. So I want to say, look at your life, okay? Look at the things that maybe you've been looping in, struggling in, stressing about, the same thought forms that you've been giving your life force energy to every single day. I want you to throw it all away, take a breath, and I want you to bring your mind, your attention to the reality. And you don't need to know how. You got to let go of the how. That's basement level thinking. The how is what's going to keep you trapped in the small self frame. Because the you that's up here, where you're going, where we're all going, never worries about the how, because it knows that the universe takes care of that. They know that. It's fundamental. Okay? Your job is to keep your attention, just like I did in that scenario with the keys and locked in the car. It's like, this is resolved perfectly and effortlessly. This is resolved in no time at all. This is resolved in the perfect way for the highest good, right? Then all I have to do is tune into go to the fire station. And then from there, guy gives me his phone. I call the right phone number. Someone's out there in 30 minutes. Okay, the panicked me would have sat there circling and freaking out and not had a clear mind. And who knows how long that would have taken, but I can promise you it would have been outside of the time that the rental car was supposed to be returned, okay? So this is huge, all right? What I'm talking about is a big deal. This is something that we all get to learn, and you came here to learn this. You came here in this lifetime, in this body, to experience what it's like to be the creator without survival energy taking up all of your bandwidth, right? We are transcending that. We've gotten over that. And yet we have the residue in our genetic coding. We've got the unresolved energies of our ancestors, and it's on us to alchemize that, to unfold the higher potential that they didn't get to do. That's our task for our generation. It truly is, okay? So, with that being said, there is a 9-week mastermind group that is starting at the beginning of October. Okay, this is going to tie into all of this. It's going to tie into the survival video that I made. The link is down below. And this is for especially the people who are not wanting to play down here anymore. We are all taking the elevator up. And it's for people who are in that place of impact. They want to bring their vision to life, or maybe they already have, but they might be stuck in certain places, so that they can really exist in that reality that they came here to experience. And you know it in your heart. You know it in your soul. So we're going to clear all of that out, and we are together going to create miracles. We're going to realize our dreams, and it's not going to be this far off, distant thing anymore. Okay? And it's not even that crazy. It's not even that far-fetched. The power that we have that gets amplified when we're in a field of shared intention, right? And we just learn the correct tools, and we clear these things out of our nervous system, and we recalibrate. In a very short period of time, absolute magic can happen. And that is what this group is all about, this mastermind. So if you're interested in that, there is also a link below. And if you've done things, if you've been hopping from course to course, or if you've just been like addicted to taking in tons of information, but you're not really acting on it, and you're kind of in that place of like procrastination and kicking the can down the road, jump in this, because this is the antithesis of any of that. This group is very active. We're taking action. We're doing things. Yes, it's all about being, but we're doing things that demonstrate the energy of who we are saying yes to, right? So it's going to be the death of the old identity. It's going to be high level accountability. You're going to be seen, all right? You're going to be witnessed, and there's going to be nowhere for those parts of you to hide, all right? And I'm very excited about this. This has been on the back burner for like a year, and I've been waiting for my heart to tell me when the right time is to start this, and here we are. So I hope that you can join us for that if your heart is called to it. At the very least, watch that survival video, see how you feel at the end of it. And on this channel, I can tell you right now, we're just getting started, baby. We're just getting started because this is a very exciting time. But if you're playing in the old rules, it really fucking sucks. It really does. If you have survival energy and you can't get out of it, it's going to steal your joy. You're going to be looping in bullshit every day. You're going to be a shell of yourself, right? Because you're in that phase where the hermit crab's got to let go of the old shell because it's too big and it's tight and there's tension and it's like, you can't really move and you're just kind of stuck in place because you're not willing to let that go and be in the vulnerability, where it feels naked and you're like, oh, I'm not protected. Like, I don't have a home. And you got to go find your bigger home, which is the same thing, right? You were existing as a hermit crab with a small shell, small self. And then as you start to go up the elevator floors, you have to release that shell because it can't go with you. And then there's that period of vulnerability. Oh my God, who am I without that shell? Like, are things going to work out? What am I going to do? You start to go up and you realize that you're provided for. You're guided, you're protected, you have everything that you need, and you just keep your attention on that place of being open to receive what life has for you. Because life has lots of cool gifts for you as you go up the floors, and they're waiting for you, right? And it's always been within you, and it's just on you to create the space and start to utilize the energies that are here that are going to bring you up to the top floor. So you can be a top floor soul because you came here to do it. You came for the soul. These are fun and games, right? To transmute these survival energies and break these patterns. That's a blast for the soul. But for the small self, it's like, oh, this sucks. I hate this. It's so hard. What am I going to do? Victim mode, right? We're leaving that behind. Love you guys. I will see you soon. And I hope to see you in the masterclass.